Hey, welcome World Entertainment, and we have some news. It's news that came out a long time ago, then seemed to vanished completely, but now is officially confirmed because they've dropped the news at CinemaCon. Yeah, unfortunately, they are officially moving forward with the remake of Escape from New York. I don't know why they want to try and make this now and what kind of messaging they're going to shove into it. It's definitely not a movie to be remade, but they're going to push ahead with remaking it for reasons best known to themselves. So we'll have a look at the article that breaks this down because, again, we heard about this quite a long time ago and nothing seemed to have come off it. And it seemed like, okay, it seems like they've given up on that idea, but no, now they're confirming it's happening. So Kurt Russell's cult classic 80s sci-fi thriller is officially getting a new take. Studio Channel's global marketing and distribution executive Hugh Spearing confirmed at CinemaCon on Monday, April 13th, that the studio is collaborating with the picture company on a reimagining of Escape from New York. Now, that's immediately where people are going to go. That's a terrible thing when you hear a reimagining. I'm starting to think, what, is Snake Plissken gonna be a black lesbian or something? Because that's the direction they keep going in with this crap nowadays. So it says the original 1981 film starred Kurt Russell as Bob Snake Plissken, was directed by horror icon John Carpenter and co-written by Carpenter and Nick Castle. Escape from New York follows Snake, a former Special Forces officer and new federal prisoner, in a crime-heavy dystopian future in which Manhattan has been transformed into a maximum security prison. Snake is given 24 hours to enter New York City and rescue the President of the United States in exchange for a pardon. In addition to movie star Kurt Russell, the original Escape from New York cast included Lee Van Cleef, Ernest Borgnine, or however you pronounce it, Donald Pleasance, Isaac Hayes, Season Hubley, and it just goes on and on. The sci-fi thriller performed well at the box office following its 1981 release, earning over $25 million globally against a reported $6 million budget. Its success led to the release of a sequel, Escape from LA, in 1996, with both Carpenter and Russell returning. Before Studio Channel's newly confirmed reimagining, there have been various attempts over the years to remake or expand on Escape from New York. Most recently, it was reported in 2022 that an Escape from New York conversation was in the works from directing duo Radio Silence, who previously helmed the Scream 2022 and Scream 5 or 6, whichever reboots, and are now set to direct the upcoming sequel, The Mummy 4. However, it's unclear if that project is still on the docket given Studio Channel's new efforts. I doubt it. Like, just think of what that article just said there. They originally pitched this idea, blah blah blah. Is that still on the table while Studio Channel is announcing this new effort? Well, if they announced a new effort, then no, it wouldn't be those guys, would it? It's not that difficult to wrap your head around that. Of course, the word that keeps popping up in this now is reimagining, and that's not what you want to be hearing. So, Escape from New York has also received various comic book offshoots since 1997, with a potential anime spin-off having reportedly been in the works back in 2003. However, Studio Channel's new movie may become the first official Escape from New York project to premiere on the big screen since 1996. Well, that also doesn't make sense. That should have said the first official Escape from movie since 96, not Escape from New York, because if that was 81, LA was 96, so it's just weird the way they've put some of this in here. Now, there's nothing in this about bringing in Kurt Russell in any way or anything like that, where that original idea that was pitched from the Radio Silence guys, they weren't saying they were bringing Kurt Russell back as Snake Plissken. He kept getting asked, hey, would you come back as Snake Plissken? He was never really on board, but they were talking about maybe having him do some sort of cameo in there. The thing you need to know about Kurt Russell when it comes to these type of characters or roles, he's flat out said the only way you'd convince him to ever play that type of character again is if it's with John Carpenter. So if John Carpenter was the one that turned around and said, hey, I'm going to do a new Escape From movie, I want Kurt Russell back, then Kurt Russell would come back. When it's other people say, we want Kurt Russell for Snake Plissken or something, he's more than likely just going to say, no, that's the way it's been going. Which makes sense. This is also yet another attempt at a remake of a John Carpenter, Kurt Russell classic movie. Because if you remember, however many years ago at this stage, remember they were trying to remake Big Trouble in Little China? And at the time, they wanted The Rock to take over as Jack Burton. And it was just like, no, that's a terrible idea. And then The Rock came out seeing the backlash. It's like, oh, no, it's not a remake. It's actually a sequel. And it was like, but it's been confirmed you're playing Jack Burton. So how's it a sequel? And then the movie just fell apart because people were like, we don't want it if it's not Carpenter and not Kurt Russell. And we never got it, thankfully. And it doesn't need to be remade. But when you take a movie like Escape from New York and Escape from LA and stuff, and a character like Snake Plissken, you really do have to say, how do you remake that nowadays? Seriously, how do you remake that? Think of what kind of backlash would happen nowadays if you showed Gen Z, the little moany bastards that they are, showed them Escape from LA and showed them the character that Pam Grier plays. Because Pam Grier is in, quite a young Pam Grier as well, in Escape from LA, and she's a transvestite character. So she's meant to be a dude that's transitioned to a guy or to a woman and stuff, and they have I think they altered her voice, but it sounds like a guy. So like you would just see them freaking out over that. So, but again, that one little word when you hear this stuff makes you eye roll and go, oh god, I can already see what it's going to be when they say a reimagining of Escape from New York. So yeah, Snake Plissken is probably going to end up being a black lesbian, probably played by Lasagna Lynch, whatever her actual name is. I'm so used now to calling her Lasagna, but yeah, I think this is a terrible idea. It really is. Escape from New York, number one, it doesn't need to be remade, but as well, it's very much a product of its time. And like the way things are with politics nowadays, like, are they really going to stick with the he needs to go and get the president, or is it going to be the case of he needs to be the one to bring down the president? God only knows what way they're going to do it. But I, for one, am not looking forward to this. Will it actually come to function? Unfortunately, this time it looks like it probably will, but time will tell, I suppose. But what do you guys think? Would you be up for a brand new take or reimagining on Escape from New York? And do you think they could convince Kurt Russell to appear in some capacity in it? But more so, what do you think they're going to do with Snake Plissken? Do you think they will just go, it's now a black lesbian, or it's going to be something weird? Let me know what you think about Jack Schaefer. So probably get the bloody role. Oh god, or Hunter Schaefer, isn't it? So yeah, so let me know what you think about it all. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.